to call the Connecticut Real Estate Appraisal Commission meeting for January 8th, 2025 to order, and it is being recorded. I would like to wish everyone a happy, it's nothing but a very healthy new year, and welcome to all our guests in attendance. I am taking a look at our agenda here, and we have the minutes from the December 11th, 2024 meeting that were distributed. Are there any edits, corrections, deletions, amendments that we need to take into consideration? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented from December 11th, 2024?
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
Shauna has made a motion. Second?
I'll second.
Jen has second. Discussion? Hearing none. Ayes?
Aye.
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 Nays? Abstentions? The minutes of the 11th of December of 2024 are now official and posted. I want to say, in order that we have here old business, I want to thank everyone who has, for whatever contribution has been made going through our weekly meetings of going through the Connecticut law class, amendments, and so forth. And I want to officially invite anyone who has any suggestions that, for the commission and staff to take in consideration for implementing these into our, for the newest edition that we are currently working on. And if anyone has any of those, we would like to get those in the next week or 10 days. And also part of that, if any school, I know this gets recorded and gets posted and at a later date, but any schools that have an instructor or instructors who would like to be part of when we go through our final revision here, please, we would welcome your attendance and contributions. So it's open to the open public. It's open to the educational community, and we really welcome with open arms any contributions that one would like. To do this properly, Debbie, how should they and what magical dates do we have if someone has any suggestions or would like to be involved? What is the process for them to do so?
They can just send me an email at dcp.realestateappraisal@ct.gov. And I would just ask that they send all comments, suggestions by next Friday, January 17th.
Okay,
dcp.realestateappraisal@ct.gov.
Okay. And we are not, correct me if I'm wrong, we are not having a meeting on the 10th for that committee. Am I correct on that?
You're correct.
Okay, so our next one will be on January 17th at 8 a.m. And we have been putting a lot of contributions into that. But again, I cannot say it with more open arms. Any comments from the general public? Love to hear it. Anyone from any school wants to have an instructor or instructors participate with this, we welcome your contributions. All
I would
right.
just like to clarify on that date. I have the 24th and the 31st that we were meeting.
Okay.
We were taking the 2 weeks.
Okay, fair enough.
2 weeks
Thank
for
you.
edits. Yep.
Very good. Thank you. And that's why, so we are on the 24th and the 31st. Very good. Thank you. Any other comments from members of the commission and or staff on this topic? Hearing none, then we will move forward. Is there any other There's nothing under old business, but is there anything else under old business that may have been omitted?
No.
Okay. Therefore, we're going to move into new business. And number one on new business was a submission by Michelle Gamache, RCG 1134, seeks approval for the following two courses/conferences. The first is a 2-hour equivalent CE for completing the Appraisal Institute course titled State of the New York City Multifamily Market, Current Investment Sales and Debt Markets, Good Cause, 485X, and more, completed on the 10th of June of 2024. Are there any questions or concerns or anything from members of the commission and or staff?
I will
On
make a
this.
motion to approve. The 2
Okay,
hours.
we have Shauna
I'll
with a
second it.
motion. John has second. Discussion. Hearing none. Ayes,
Aye.
Aye.
nays, abstentions. So we will pass on, or A, the 2-hour equivalent is approved. Number two, I just asked for someone, if everyone could be put on mute, please. There's background information going on. Thank you. The second one is a 5 hours of equivalent continuing education approval for completing the Appraisal Institute's conference titled New York City Real Estate Market, Exploring Trends and Opportunities on the Horizon. This was completed on October 9th, 2024. Anything that we should be aware of or anything before the commission on this submission? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
A motion by Shauna
I'll
to
second it.
approve. John will second. Discussion? Hearing none. Vote to approve the 5 hours of equivalent CE for Ms. Gamache. Ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstention? So Ms. Gamache gets 5 hours. So she has a total of 7 hours on today's submission for A and B within the new business on our agenda. Very good. Number two under new business is Mr. Stephen Frey Jr., RSP 2006. He's an RCG applicant. We have an experience, it says experience log review, approval, sample selection, and extension of his 6 years to pass the PSI exam. Let me just take one step at a time. Is Mr. Frey available? Is he in attendance? Mr. Frey Jr.
Yes,
Thank you. Great. You're on to, and is your sponsor here?
yes,
Could he be, Mr. Frey Senior, are you able to bring yourself up on video as well? Very good. I can see you. Thank you, gentlemen. You can both be pulled off mute. And, is there, Mr. Frey Jr., was there anybody else in attendance on your behalf for any discussion that we're about to discuss? Or is it only yourself and Mr. Frey Senior?
just myself and my sponsor.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan.
For the record, could you please give your name, spelling of your last name, and your business address for the record, please?
Yes, it's Stephen Frey, Frey, and the business address is 505 Totucket Road, Northford, Connecticut, 06472.
Thank you. Mr. Frey Senior, could you please give your name, spelling of your last name, and your business address as well for the record?
Stephen Frey, Frey, 505 Totucket Road, Northford, Connecticut, 06472.
Very good. Thank you very much, sir. We had and Debbie, please step in here. So I'm going to break this up into bites. There's a number of things on the agenda here. So we're going to take one thing at a time. Says here experience log review. Did we already address that?
No, Well, I sent in the experience log, and then
Okay.
there was a step skipped. I got confused because, the sample selection was, emailed to me. And right now we're just supposed to be reviewing the experience log that was submitted and, give him an extension, of his 6th year.
Okay. Let's take one thing at a time, if I may here. So for the experience log review, um, have we reviewed it, and are there any issues? Do we meet the minimum requirements for the hours and so forth?
Yes,
Is the format in an acceptable format? Things are
Uh,
signed off and so forth.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
If
Mhm.
that's the case, can I get a motion by the commission to accept Mr. Frey Jr.'s experience log as presented?
I make a motion that we accept Mr. Frey Jr.'s experience log as submitted.
Okay, John, as a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and that was Maria?
Second.
Okay, Maria beat you to it, Norris. A second by Maria. Now discussion amongst members of the commission. Hearing none, discussion by staff. Anything that we should be aware? Okay, that all being said, then I call this motion to a vote. Ayes,
Aye.
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 nays, abstentions. So Mr. Frey Jr.'s experience log review is now approved. All right, now, there were 6 samples that were distributed. And help me out here, because I went reviewing those into the night last night. Are we not going through those today?
Well, Jerry, I jumped the gun on that. I'm the one who read it's not Debbie, it's me. I went through the log and picked 6 samples and sent it to Deb. And then that was me who did that. So normally we just approve the log and then we ask for the samples and then we have them come back another time.
Okay, I understand. Ho, ho, ho. It was during the season of, jolliness. So here we are. Okay, and we'll address it. All right, we're going to come back to that in a moment here. Let's follow the formality of what Debbie said here. Mr. Frey Jr. is asking for an extension of a 6th year to pass the PSI exam. That's what is written here on our agenda right now. Okay, so Mr. Frey Jr., when does your license, as we have it right now, set to expire? When does your 6-year window come to a conclusion?
I believe it's in May.
May of 2025?
Yes.
If I may
Debbie?
jump in,
Yes,
yeah,
please.
he's allowed to renew through, December 16th of 25.
Okay.
Okay, so he can go to December 16th of 2025. And you are asking for an extension, almost a year ahead of time here. Let me ask you this, if I may. Is all your coursework done, or you still have courses to take?
No, sir. I had this same meeting a year ago, and I got the approval for the PSI exam. And unfortunately, out of my 3 attempts, I didn't pass the exam. And per PSI, you only have 1 year to pass, and then you have to get approval to take said exam again for another year time slot.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at right now.
All right. Thank you very much for clarification. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something. It's a me issue, not you. It's a me issue. Okay. That being the case, if we give it approvals, I need either Debbie and or Vicky so I clear in my mind, if we give the approval for another extension, does he get 3 more chances? Is that how the rule works here? I just need a little clarification. 3 more shots at of taking the exam. Is that how it works here?
That's what I'm told. Yeah, that was
Okay.
new to me, actually. I didn't realize that, there was, a limit. with PSI for them to take the test and pass it. So yeah,
Okay.
that's how that would go. Mhm.
Fair enough. So do I understand, Mr. Frey Jr., that you are at the moment here, just you're requesting for the 6th year, or an extension here so you get 3 more chances? Am I correct?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
Fair enough. Okay. I've been doing a lot of talking. Members of the commission and/or staff, is there anything to be asked here?
I don't have a thing for, but when did they say, I thought you could just keep taking it. Is that something, you said, Debbie, that was something new?
Apparently, because when I started, they could take, as long as they got approval from the real
commission.
estate, right? They could just keep taking the test until they passed it. But I've been hearing that no, there's a time limit. So I don't know if anything changed with PSI. I wasn't notified of that, so I guess we can ask our liaison to check into
Yeah,
that
because
rule.
wouldn't we have to approve that? Is this,
You would
I
think
would
so.
think, but when it's a third party, we
Okay.
really don't know unless we're notified. So we'll check into it.
Any other questions from members of the commission and/or staff?
yeah, I'm wondering if we should actually wait on this extension till we get hear back from Deb, because it might not be necessary.
Well, or why don't we make a motion to approve him to take another batch of tests? His extension won't end until December 16th of 2025. So he's darn near a full year ahead,
Okay.
Good for you, Mr. Frey and Mr. Frey. I applaud you both, okay, on that. We're not fighting a timeline. So if we make that a motion, it's official. Therefore, he gets at least 3 more cracks at the apple. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the way to take it. And I hear you, John. We'll see where we are come next fall. Hopefully he's got it all taken care of,
All right, I make a motion that we extend how we approve, we give him we allow him to take 3 more. How are we going to word this?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah. Go ahead, Shauna.
No, that,
You were-
go ahead. John was going there.
Yeah.
So we make a motion, I make a motion that we allow him a 1-year extension to extend in order to take the test. Period, right?
Okay. Do
I
we have a
guess-
second?
What,
Like,
Shauna,
Do we have a second?
I
Second.
would make the motion that we approve that he's allowed to take the, exam 3 more times. Just simple as that. That we're authorizing that he can take the exam 3 more times at this point.
John, would you like to pull your motion off and go with Shauna's motion?
Well, he's only going to need 1 more time. Come on, right?
Exactly, I
Right.
know.
Mr. Frey Jr.?
I
Let's
was
be
one
optimistic.
point off last time, so I'm hoping this time it's
Okay.
above that. So yes.
John, you'll pull yours off, your motion?
Yeah, I'll pull mine off and
Okay.
reword it.
Can
Shauna?
I just
Yes,
say one thing?
please. Yes, Vicky.
It might be best to say that he be allowed to take the exam 3 times and not to exceed December 31st. And then that way you kind of address both issues that were of concern.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I make a
Okay.
motion, we do what Vicky just said.
All right, sounds good. I'll second that.
If that's what your 2 concerns were, was the deadline
Yeah.
date of December 31st, as well as him being able to take to take it at least 3 more times.
Yes,
So something along those lines.
John, is that your motion?
that's my motion.
And
I'll
do I
second.
have a second? And Shauna
Second.
has seconded that motion. Now discussion. Any discussion by members of the commission? Any discussion about members of the staff? Anything from general public? Hearing
Jerry, I
none?
have one question.
Yes.
When Stephen Jr. goes to schedule the exam, will there be a communication hiccup between the commission and the PSI? Because when he just barely didn't pass last time, they denied him setting up a 4th exam. Will there be any kind of issue when trying to set up the next exam?
I believe, Mr. Frey Senior, that Attorney Bullock had just mentioned that they were going to reach out to our liaison to make
Okay.
sure that this has been addressed. We'll get this motion taken care of. Therefore, it will be on the record that
Excellent. Thank
the
you.
door is
Thank you.
opened. Okay. If in the event it passes, let's get through this motion first and then we'll clarify it. Okay. Any other questions on the motion on the floor? Hearing none, I'll call to a vote. Ayes,
Aye.
Aye.
nays, abstentions. So it passes unanimously. Great. Mr. Frey Senior, therefore, that's where we're at. So Debbie, do you notify them or
Yeah, so
our
I'll
liaison
send.
or
Mhm.
Vicky? Who does that?
So I'll send our liaison an email just letting them know that they are authorized to notify PSI that you can take the test 3 more times. I'm also going to follow up with one of our contacts over at PSI to see if anything changed, because this, like I said, this is the first that, you know, we've heard of this.
Yeah.
I have no idea if they changed or if somebody is, just making up rules. Who knows,
Yeah.
But
I
we'll get it.
understand.
We'll get it set.
Okay.
And then, Stephen, I'll notify you by email as soon as I notify the liaison. And typically it's like a 24-hour turnaround, because PSI has to update their records, and then they'll send you the email just like last time with the instructions on how to schedule your exam.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Mr. Frey Jr., as you heard, Commissioner Galvin said we may have jumped the gun a little bit here. So we are being consistent with every applicant that comes through. We are going to put you on the agenda for next month to do the review of your submissions, okay?
Okay.
All right, we jumped the gun. Our bad, okay, but we've got to be consistent with everybody across the board. So we will have you on the agenda for next month. Those reports have been sent in. I thank you. I've read them into the night last night, but we've got to follow the process. Okay. I hope you both understand, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Okay.
understood.
All right then. Do you folks have any questions for us?
None that I can think of.
All right.
No.
Thank you for your time. And I want to applaud you both for being ahead of the game. It seems like we get these requests like on November 29th, and we're fighting the gun. So I applaud you both. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Number 3 on new business. Joseph Salvetti, and I hope I pronounced that correct, RSP 2067, RCR applicant. Requests 60-year extension to complete qualified education and pass PSI exam. Is Mr. Salvetti with us this morning?
Yes, I am. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, are you able to bring yourself up on the camera, please?
Okay, let's see.
There you go. Good
You got me?
morning, sir. Very
I
good.
thought this was just going to be initially a phone conference, but I would address more appropriately. I'm
Don't
sorry.
worry. It's winter in New England, so just stay warm, as we say. Okay. Mr. Salvetti, for the record, can we please get your name, the spelling of your last name, and the address of your business or where your employment, please?
Yeah. Joseph E. Salvati, last name S-A-L, V as in Victor, A-T-I. My address is 65 General Dalton Drive in Naugatuck, Connecticut, 06770.
Thank you, and I will try to pronounce your last name correctly here. So thank you. Debbie, can you please give the commission a quick overview, or as long as you need, so what the situation is before us?
Well, Mr. Salvati has received his initial RSP, July 29th of 2019. So he would only be able to renew in April for a couple of months.
Okay. All right. Mr. Salvati, would you like to bring the commission current of where the situation is, where you are with your classes, and so forth, and why the application for the extension. Go ahead, sir.
Well, first of all, I've been with this 5 years. I'm older. I'm an older fella. I'm in my mid to late 60s. Going for the sit for the test, and the hours that I have as far as appraisals is not a problem. I have well over the 2,000 or even 3,000. I think the appraisal management company, the software keeps track. It shows that I've done over 700 appraisals during this time, and that doesn't include, individual outside of that APM. Yeah, AAMP, right? AMC, appraisal management company. I'm sorry, a little nervous here. Yeah, and the big thing is my continuing education qualifying for this. I've been a slow boat to China, and I apologize. Life has been. I'm not going to play violins or anything, but there's been sickness in my family. There's been economic woes, trying to keep my head above water, financially, keep a house and everything. And I've been working a couple of different jobs, to be honest with you, including doing appraisals. I have a spectacular supervisor, William DeTulio. He's been a great help to me. And I don't know, I really enjoy it. Being a little bit older, this is the first time I went back to school since 1979. Pretty much I had a family business before this. And I was in business, just doing, daily things like that, managing a store, buying, selling, whatever. Anyways, I talked to Debbie the other day on the phone, and we talked for a bit. She was very nice. Also, she motivated me quite a bit. I think I'm in my second course for the qualifying education right now. And I actually opened up the residential sales comparison and income approach course. And, I stayed almost the whole day on that the other day. And, I got through about 20% of it. So I'm motivated now. And that's all I can say,
Okay.
I ask for your whatever you can do as far as an extension. The problem is finishing the continuing education. I mean, the qualifying education. I'm sorry. It won't be a problem, I don't think, but it may be. I'm not sure how long this might take. I'm just worried that when my license runs out, I won't be ready to take the test. I'll be studying, and so, and I want to, of course, be able to take the test when I'm ready.
Okay.
So,
Okay, thank you. Are there questions by members of the commission?
I got a suggestion. I mean, I'm thinking that maybe he comes back in May, but in the meantime, if Joe, if you could submit your experience log since you have all the work done, so that we could review that, and then by May we'll know how many courses you actually took, and we'll have a better understanding of what you had. So you're showing us that you're actually making progression. The reason is we have had situations where we give them time and then they don't get anything done. So I think we'd like to. That's just me. I would like to see that he's actually submitted some stuff and moving forward.
well, yeah, I have a whole case of completed appraisal reports down in my basement, and I've been trying to put them into a log that would be presentable to you folks. And it's just, I don't know. It's on the to-do list, but I do
I just
have,
emailed you a format, a sample format. You can use that one, or if you find one that you're using to be easier, I just emailed that to you, whichever
okay.
you prefer.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I have the work amount. In fact, my supervisor said I think we had a discussion last spring, I would think, and we talked about it. And he goes, "You have more than enough hours to satisfy the appraisal time in the field, you know." And let
Yeah,
me
you
tell
don't
you,
have to give on the log. You don't have to give us everything you did in 2019-20. You can, am I right, Deb? He can just go back and give the last several years as long as he meets the hours, right?
right?
Correct. It has to have a minimum of 1,500 hours, so the most recent would be
Yeah.
fine.
Then it shouldn't take you too long. That's my suggestion. That's where I'm at. Thanks.
Okay, well, that's not a problem.
Are there thank you, John. Other members of the commission and or staff questions to be put on the table? Uh, do we need a motion, or Mr. Salvati, do you want to, you heard what Commissioner Galvin gave as a suggestion here, that we can put you on the agenda for, and John, did you say May? Am I correct on that?
Yeah,
Or-
May, that, because if his expires in July, then May, June gives us 2 months in case something comes up. So May.
May I add, my license expires with the certificate April 30th. If I need to reinstate to re-up on that, I would like to maybe have the meeting before that. So if the situation is moot, then you know what I'll save myself $100 or whatever the fee is.
No, I think you can still renew, Deb, right? He can still renew. Yeah, you can still renew if you plan on continuing as an appraiser. I mean, if you got the hours and you're taking the classes and you've been getting by doing the work now for over 5, 6 years, you should be able to pass the test. And if there's something you want to continue, then I recommend that you just renew your license and you don't need to. I think May would be sufficient.
Okay.
Mr. Salvati, also to help out, if you have this done in February or March, your log, feel free to submit it. Don't wait till May.
Right. Oh,
As
of
soon
course.
as you get it done, get it in, and therefore you get it on the agenda. Don't wait till May if you don't want to wait till May, and therefore uh, Commissioner Galvin is trying to assist you here, is what he's trying to do here. But you get it done earlier, great. Let's get that in, and then we can see
Okay.
where you're at, with everything.
And then we can review it in February, get your
Yeah.
sample selection, and we can look at those in March, and then you'll know where you're at. And you have a few more classes going on, you might move along faster than you think. So that's just my suggestion. So I don't
Oh, I
think we
see.
need to make a motion on anything. But I commend you for coming in now rather than waiting.
Well,
So
I like to be proactive on a lot of things, and I learned that in the business world, I guess. I thank you for your time. So
We hope to see you sooner than later is what we're trying to
yeah.
say. As
Are there
soon as you can get that, get it into us here, and so let's see how we can assist you. Is what we're.
Mhm.
Don't wait till May. If you get it great for February, wonderful. If it's to March, okay. We're trying to help you move along here and see what we can do. Okay.
Okay. I had just one question on the samples that I submit. You have a sample appraisal report you want to see besides the log or whatever. You could clarify that.
no, just submit your log, and then we go through the log. We have to approve the log first,
Uh-huh.
okay, to make sure it's in the correct format and it meets all the requirements. And then we will, as a commission, we select samples that we want to see. And then when those are the actual reports that you've written, we want to see the actual reports. So the only thing you have to do is just pull up the actual reports and forward them to Debbie. And that's it, in a PDF format, and then we just go from there. That's it. Then we review those. You come in a meeting, and then we go over them to see if they pass or the test. And then once you complete that, then you move forward and you have permission to take the exam.
Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you, Debbie, for all your assistance.
Very good. Thank you. And again, we'll be looking forward to it. Okay. So as soon as you get it done, you get that sent in to Debbie. She'll make sure with Rochelle that it gets put on the agenda, and we look forward to seeing you sooner than later. Okay. Don't let grass grow under you. I know we have snow and ice under our feet right now, so we can, let's push right through. Okay.
Yes, that was part of Debbie's motivation also.
Okay.
And it worked.
All right. Great.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good day and Happy New Year. Take care. All right. I show on the agenda, those are the 3 items we have addressed for new business. Am I missing anything? Okay. Legal. Vicky, the floor is yours. Although there's nothing on there, but I'm sure you have something to bring us current on.
I don't have anything to bring you current on. The department is working on the law course. The public comment was closed in January 16th, I believe. We didn't have any that I know of for the Perea course. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I don't
So-
have anything else relative to legal.
Okay, so I am very clear. So there was no public comment for the Perea. Where does that stand now? So what's the next step?
As
Or
far as I know,
steps?
if there's no public comment, then it gets approved.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And so by what, next month or the month after that?
I would have to
Who's
look to see
doing
if it was on, I have to see if it was, I have to look, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is moving forward
That's correct. That's all I
at
can say.
whatever
It's moving
pace it's
forward.
at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions by members of the commission? Anything on legal while Vicky is here? Hearing none, then we'll move to the next thing. Thank you, Vicky. Move to the next item is DCP investigations. Number 1, appraisal investigation case report status. Debbie, the floor is yours.
So we've got 2 closed. One was an AMC that was referred to Banking Commission. And the second was an appraiser who failed to take their CE on time, which was addressed at the last meeting. And he was reported to the National Registry, received a civil penalty, and that's that. And we received a new complaint yesterday, so that brings it back up to 16, I believe.
Okay. So somewhere in the process, we have 16 complaints on your docket as we speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Members of the commission, any questions for Debbie on this topic? Okay. Thank you. Then number 2 under that, under investigation, says appraisal discipline reported to National Registry. You kind of enveloped that, I think. Is there anything that needs to be clarified or you want to expand upon?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
It's just that one appraiser that we reported, unfortunately, but we have to because we're a mandatory state. They need to be reported if
Yep.
there's any form of discipline.
All right. Very good. Then moving on, we are under the course approvals. And as we can see on the agenda, page 3 of the agenda, all have AQB and IDEC approvals unless otherwise noted. And we're going to go with AAL 1326 through AAL 1348. I have one question I haven't read here. And I'm going to go down to the fourth submission, AAL 1330, appraisal statistics. It says the CE Shop LLC. Is that an approved school that we have here?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, fair enough. You see the same name so many times, Appraisal Institute, McKissick, our friends up in Massachusetts and so forth. And that was one that it just jumped out. Very good. Are there any questions by members of the commission on the AAL through 1326 through AAL 1348? Hearing none, can I entertain a motion to approve as presented AAL 1326 through AAL 1348?
I make a motion that we approve those courses.
Okay, John has made the motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Shauna has second. Discussion? Hearing none, vote ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, so approval on the agenda from AAL 1326 through AAL 1348. Now, the next batch here are non-AQB approved courses. We have before us AAL 1329 through AAL 1351. Are there any questions, concerns, or discussion points on any of those 7 submissions put on the agenda by members of the commission or staff or general public? Hearing none, can I entertain a motion for the non-AQB approved courses AAL 1329 through AAL 1351?
I make a motion that we approved AAL dash dot 1329 all the way through AAL 1351.
Very good. Can I get a second? Second
I'll
call for the
second.
second.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Sean has seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, I will call a vote on the motion on the floor approving of AAL 1329 through AAL 1351. Ayes?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Nays? Abstentions? That will pass as well. Okay. The next thing on the agenda has comments or concerns of any person present today. Are there any things, I'll start in an order here, any comments or concerns by members of the commission?
I just have one. I'm finding that really upsetting that the test people are coming back and saying that, you can't renew it for 3 years, and having someone come in and now go on record, saying that they actually had to admit they had to fail the test 3 times, because I just don't think that's appropriate. And the reason why I'm saying that is here in my office, I have provisionals, and we've been putting a test question on the board here from the study guides, every other day or something like that. Man, I've had trouble with a couple of them. They're tricky questions, and so I just don't think that's appropriate. I think Deb, I think this is pretty serious. I think we need to find this out and nip it in the bud. Just me.
Okay.
I guess there could be some logic to that. I mean, if somebody's taken it 30 times, do we want to just keep letting them go? I'm just trying to look at it from the other side.
Well, I know we had 6 and 7 times, right, Deb?
Mhm.
And I know one person who just gave up and realized that this wasn't their profession and went on to something else. But uh, but for the most part, I know that people have taken it a couple of times, and they've gone on and become very productive appraisers in our industry. So I know I researched how those questions were made a while back. the foundation actually does a pretty good job. They have a pool of experienced appraisers they submit those questions out to. They don't just pick them lightly. It's not like someone's picking them, who has no experience. They're very challenging, and they're made that way. They're made you to think, and they're great questions. But appraisal is an experienced, as you guys know, we're an experienced industry. It takes time, and you're constantly learning and constantly evolving. And I think that taking the test is actually part of our training, teaching you how to think through things that you may not be actually getting with online courses like you used to get with in-person classes. And having that camaraderie of going out in the hallway afterwards and talking things out and listening to other people think and stuff like that. And instructors coming in and giving more stories that, put the theory into reality. So, I think this is something that's here because of where we are in terms of virtual learning, but I think we shouldn't be penalizing because of the system, and that's I think what we're doing. So,
Well,
I don't.
I'm not really sure. Like I said, there, from what I understood, there was never a time frame or a number of opportunities to pass the test. This is something new that's coming up. So I don't know if PSI changed their their rules or if somebody gave him incorrect information. But I'll find out for sure and let you know next time. I don't know
Great.
how you want me to handle.
Okay,
We
let's,
definitely need to know.
yeah,
I mean, that test is very challenging, and I think it's an excellent test. I mean, people go into it, especially if you're on the residential side, thinking, well, I do these reports, I know how to do these reports. No, you have to know the theory behind it. It's a lot of theory. It's not about finding comps or how to adjustments. It's the theory behind everything, which that's why it's excellent test, I think. But I think that's what everybody gets mixed up on.
okay. Great. Any other discussion on this topic? Does anyone, we've had staff, anyone from the general public on this topic? Hearing none, okay. Members, are there any other topics from members of the commission to be brought up? From staff? General public?
Mr. Chair, this is Scott DiBiasio with the Appraisal Institute, if I may.
Yes, good morning, sir, and Happy New Year.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and commission members. I just wanted to take a second and say that although the Appraisal Institute did not submit formal written comments on the proposed rules, and that's for a number of different reasons, not the least of which is that I was on vacation and it slipped through the cracks. But we are obviously very supportive of the proposed rules as they were drafted. Obviously, we would have preferred that the requirement for additional Connecticut-specific appraisal reports not be included, but I don't think there's really any need to relitigate that. The commission has had extensive discussions on it. But I did just want to put on the record that we are supportive of the rules as they were proposed. Although I understand that, this will not be part of the formal rulemaking package, but just wanted to let the commission know that we're fully on board with the rules as they were drafted. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. DeBaljo, I want to say thank you for in your attendance and your contributions made, and I'm going to switch that topic here on you. Where is the Appraisal Institute, if I may ask, in the drafting of the class that we are all wanting, the mandatory class that we have on, the fair housing and so forth coming? Where are we in that process? Because I know there is an increasing level of concern because all of a sudden now it's January of 2025.
Yep.
At this time next year, it's going to be here before we know it. People have had to take the class, or they'll have 3 more weeks to by the 30th of, 31st of January of 2026. So where does that stand, if you may?
I can tell you that we are still in the process of developing that course. I believe the target date right now is sometime during the second quarter of 2025. But I can assure you that we will have a course that's been fully developed and approved by the AQB and or approved by individual states well before the January 1st, 2026 mandatory implementation date. Of course, we have a 5-hour online course related to fair housing and valuation bias right now. That course does not unfortunately meet the AQB requirements, so we're having to basically go back to the starting point and redo that course entirely, and it's proven to be a little bit more challenging than we thought it was going to be. But I can assure you that course is under development and will be available in the marketplace, hopefully by the fourth quarter of 2025, so that people can start taking it. It is, like you said, an issue. There are some other states that already require the fair housing course. Perhaps not to the extent that the AQB requires, but there are some requirements, like in New York, for example, and some other states. But we will have a course available in the marketplace to satisfy the requirement that will go into effect on January 1st of 2026.
So it sounds like next fall is when buckle up, because it comes through here and everyone will be adding to their requirements, through the fall and through January at this time next year to meet those deadlines. And I, for one, have taken those classes. Even the city of Chicago has their own requirement that you've got to go through this as well. So, I spend a morning taking care of, or a day, with Illinois, and then you flip right over and you do the Chicago one, right over. So I fully thank you. Are there any, well, we have Mr. DeBazio on the phone, on the phone, excuse me, with us here at this meeting. Is there any other questions on what he just said or any other matter?
Do you think it might be prudent that we put this on our agenda for March to do an update and give Deb some time to find out what some of the other schools are doing, so we're kind of staying on top of it?
I think that's a good idea, to be candid, and Deb, I know you get hit with many things out of left field. If you hear, it's almost, I think we should know every month, John, instead of kicking a little bit here, just to keep us, I don't know why in all the years, this one has my, if not the most concern, right up there of, as things are going on here, the Appraisal Institute and other schools had these 5 hours, 3 hours, 4 hour things, and then everyone kind of got, wait a minute, this went up to 7. And what, and Mr. DeBazio said, and representing the Appraisal Institute, I'm sure if we heard from McKissick or the Mass Board of Realty, all the different schools that are out there, Kaleidoscope and so forth, they're all in the same boat. Like, hey, we had this, and now we've been hit with this. We got to reconstitute things. It sounds easier than it is, okay? And now we're watching it tick, tick, tick. And I hope I am wrong, but I'll bet we'll have a considerable amount of time a year from now on the January 2026 meeting, people asking for extensions and so forth, given the timeline. I can smell it, and anything we can do, John, to try to alleviate it, it's best. You know what I mean? I agree. You want it in March, fine, but I would almost every month, we just put this under old business. Where do we stand? Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yep, I got it down.
Okay, great. Are there any other comments or concerns on anything that come before us? I have one other, if I may. We are scheduled for next to be in person in February. Shauna, you are going to be out of town.
No, I think I'll be back. I will just be back.
Okay.
Wait, isn't it February 12th? Yeah, so I come back on the 10th.
As I did a year ago, may I make a suggestion? We flip in person to March instead of we deal with the weather issues with February, consistently. And let's just, is there any issues of us just flipping that so we meet in March in person and we can do it virtually in February? Does that cause anybody a concern?
I'd also like to say that the February meeting will be on February 19th, the third Wednesday this year, because
Yeah,
there's
that
a
was-
federal holiday on the 12th. Lincoln's birthday.
Okay. Are there any issues or does this present a
Oh, this
hardship?
is
I'm just trying to think ahead, you know. We usually get kicked. It's been the 1 month in all my experience on here 3 or 4 times. And I'm just trying to be proactive. That's all. Shauna, do you have any concerns on that? I thought with your, because I think I'd want to have as many people available as possible, because what Mr. de Blasio was just bringing here, this is an issue that, you know, every month I think we're going to be spending a few minutes on this, because gosh darn it, I just smell a problem, and I'm trying to let some air out of the balloon before it pops. And here, at least I thought you were on the road, Shauna, to be candid with you. I thought you were, you know, down in the sunny South, but still wanted your contributions, you know,
I'll be
on
here.
the,
I'll be here.
okay, right.
We do
So-
get more, just a little side note, we do get more participation from the public when they are online like this, on virtual, because not everybody can, you know, make it into Hartford. We have a lot of appraisers that are out of state, or for whatever reason, they can't make it in for the in-person meeting. So it just gives the opportunity for more people to be part of our meetings when they're virtual.
Yeah, as long as it's posted with the Secretary of State's office, there's no problem.
Is anyone adverse to flipping March and February we'll go online in February and meet in person in March? Does that cause anybody in the commission or staff hardship?
Nope.
Okay. Can we then, we're in agreement, we'll do that. I'm just the whole weather thing, you know.
Do we have to
We'll do
make a
it.
motion?
I don't know.
Better
Attorney
safe than
Bullock?
sorry. Go ahead, make a
I make a
motion.
motion that we flip the February and March meeting in terms of virtual and in person.
Okay, I have a motion by John. A second?
I'll second.
I think I heard Maria beat
Maria
you
got
to it
there.
here. Yeah. Maria, second. Discussion? Ayes?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions. So we meet virtually in February, we meet in person in March. Okay. All right. Any other comments or to come before us today? Hearing none, can I entertain a motion to adjourn? Second call for adjournment motion.
I'll make that motion.
Jen
Hey.
makes a motion, a second by
Second.
John will second it. Ayes, nays, abstention. Stay warm, stay on the road. Happy New Year, stay healthy, and thank you for everyone and the general public who is sitting on here. We thank you, and we always value your contributions. And I will say again, as Deb gave us the dates here, if you have any comments, concerns, or anything with the updating of the Connecticut Appraisal Law class, we welcome with open arms your comments, and any instructor who wants to be part of that, or a school, it could be administrator, whatever, we welcome you as well. Thank you, folks. Be well. Take care. Shauna, enjoy your trip down south.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Thank
Bye,
you, everyone.
everyone.
Bye-bye.